So I like just got home from work. It's January 31st and it is like day of the monsoon. It has been pouring rain all day. Like usually it lets up and then it starts up again. No, it has been solid the whole entire day. It's raining and then all of a sudden it is sheets of rain. Walking on the streets, it looks like you're walking on water. Like there is an insane amount. I left my umbrella outside, I stepped in, took my backpack off, leaned over to start taking off my boots, and like a pool of water that somehow pooled up in my jacket poured out onto a pile of magazines. Oh, my luck. Half of my pants are soaked. My boots look like a completely different color. Like, they don't look like the boots I own. Okay, so it's actually been a couple of days since that recording that you just saw when I came in soaking wet. Ended up having a few days that were actually pretty good. We actually got sunshine multiple days in a row, which is crazy for January. I know I want to do sort of like a monthly recap video, but because January happened so fast and I sort of came to that idea a little bit later on, I didn't really prepare for it, and I wanted to do a bit more. Like I had a bigger idea in my head of what I want to do. Just in terms of like the beginning of the month, I got back on the 1st because my flight was delayed from the 30th of December to January 1st. Got back 1 o'clock in the morning PST from the East Coast, so it's like 4 a.m. East Coast time. And then I had to be up for work at 7. So I had to like leave by 6:30. So I got a couple hours of sleep by the time I actually fell asleep, which was not great, but I made it. I survived. I think it was like within that same 7 days of me getting back, I painted my back wall the same color as my living room, so you see that blue, and then da-da, I painted that, got the shelf up, got all my creative stuff on there, so it's all consolidated in one spot. And as soon as I did that, it just felt so much better. Like the place really feels like my own now. And before it was like, okay, I'm still missing that something, but I live here. But now, having that wall done, having the shelf, it all feels good. In terms of creative work, I created my first set of postcards with my photography and doing graphic overlays. And then I ended up selling my first batch officially. So I have a setup in the cafe that I work at, and I've actually sold a couple there. So that's my first time really putting work out into the world and actually getting paid back for it. So it's a strange but a very good feeling and inspiring for what I want to do next. Yeah, redoing online platforms. I redid my website, and kind of funny, I'm like redoing it because I found out how to upload custom fonts that you want to use, and now I'm like, oh, a whole new bevy of ideas have entered my brain. That's something I'm kind of working on, but now I'm at the point where it's like, okay, let's get a few projects done and then we can rework on the website. So blah, blah, blah. That's for another time. Cleaned up my Behance, my Society 6, and now I'm looking to post more work on those, get it cleaned up, have better presentations for the projects and whatnot. So it feels good to have those cleaned up and ready to go so that when I want to post to them, it's all set. And then, yeah, I recorded the YouTube video for getting my postcards, and sitting here recording with the camera, it's like as soon as I set it up and I start doing it, I'm like, okay, this feels good, but working myself up to the point where I'm like, ooh, I want to turn on the camera and record. It just doesn't feel natural because, one, it is kind of awkward and weird. It's not like a natural thing you necessarily want to do right off the bat or are comfortable with. Being social is such a big part of my job that by the time I come home, I'm like, blah, 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 blah. I don't want to talk at all. I'm like, why do I want to pick up a camera and talk more? But ultimately, I want to document things, and I like the process of recording and editing. So it's just one of those things where I gotta talk to my brain and be like, hey, you know you like this. I'm already past the 5-minute mark. I'm gonna keep it short. That's one thing I want to work on with recording more videos, is learning how to say less, but get to the point of what I want to say. I think that's a pretty good note to cut this off because I could keep talking and adding on and adding on and adding on. Okay, that's it. Bye.